Today is Saturday, the 24th of February 2018, and this is moving day for the chickens. The chickens and ducks have done a terrific job in this area here. This is where they spent the winter, and they did what we wanted, to work on the ground, get it ready. This is our potato patch, which we're going to be planting in about 3 weeks. But one of the things that I want to share with you today was not just that the chickens are moving for the sake of moving. They're moving to do some other work wherever they're going. And so, for example, we have 2 chicken coops here. This red one, last night I did the first cut on the chickens are going to be our breeders. And so these guys are going to be separated from the main flock today. And these other guys, everybody else, they're moving further down the lane here. So let's focus on the breeders now. I selected about 15 hens last night. They're going to go with our main rooster. Now those 15, that's just a first cut. I'm going to be taking some of them out. I don't want any more than 10 hens here. But in any event, these are going to be our breeders, and yet they're still going to be working for us. So if I'm going to walk over here, this is part of our main market garden. And so we have some cover crops going on here. But here at the top of this area, I left all those tomato vines and all that here last year, kind of as a form of a cover crop or so. And there's some peppers, and of course there's plenty of weeds here. But here's where the breeders are going to come in. So yes, they're going to be breeding, they're going to be producing delicious eggs, and they're going to be working on these garden beds 2 at a time, so I can have them come here, scratch, clean, fertilize, and give them a few weeks, maybe about a couple of weeks here, and then when that process is complete, I move them 2 rows over, and so that way we're working small space at a time, and getting the work done, preparing the beds for me. So then all I have to do is just come and do broad fork, aerating. Alright, this phase of the project for today is complete. Well, I still need to bring some food and water, but I'll come back to this. So, got about 15 hens here and 1 rooster. Very excited about this. And now, daylight, I realized that, well, some of these hens, I know which ones are going back. So I'll give them a little time here to scratch and eat and play and have fun while I go finish up the other part of the project. And so what we have here where I have the chickens is some corn patch from last year that I'm going to be working on. So I want the chickens to come and scratch and clear. And then on this side, I have some rye growing here, so I don't want the chickens to be messing up with this. It's protected here for the winter. We'll work back here for about 1 or 2 weeks, and so work on this area here that we can plant in the spring, and then they're gonna move up in this area here to work it out. I have this is some new ground that will use for some spring planting here in May or so. So we have good 3 months for them to work on this, which will be perfect. So we're gonna have some winter squashes and all that in this area back here. Today's March 17, 2018. It's been exactly 3 weeks since we moved the chickens here. So this is the work that the chickens have done in 3 weeks. They've cleared this space, they scratched it, they put some manure on it, and so all that we are going to do now is we're going to move. We're just gonna do a little move today, but this will be pretty easy in that we have 2 lines, or 2 fences I should say, and so we're gonna move the chickens to the next 3 rows so they can do roughly the same work that they did here. And so but this one fence on the right will stay there. We just move this one over, and that'll be a pretty easy thing. And so now that the chickens are going to be gone, we'll come do a very light tilling here, and we'll be ready to start planting here, just like we are almost ready to start planting on these other beds. All right, the chickens are in their new spot, doing what they like to do. Next to the chickens here, we have some winter rye that we're gonna plant directly into, so I'm not going to use the chickens in this spot. And the chickens are in their new spot, doing what they like to do, eating and scratching and working for us. They will be here for about 2 weeks, and then we'll move them somewhere else in the property, as this area is going to be planted pretty soon. So that's how we save time, effort, and keep the chickens happy. We hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and please come back. Blessings to all.